Guys, listen, I'm going to make this video very, very fast because I'm sick of dealing with this, and I just want to get you guys up in the game running the best FPS you can, yada, yada, yada. So, it's not going to be pretty, it's not going to be all done up with all my intro, my outro, music, and all that shit till later. I'm going to cuss, so if you don't like that, go ahead and leave now. That's just how it's going to be. Alright, so, you guys are frustrated with the game, I'm frustrated with the game. I've bought the game for 70 bucks, and then I got screwed out of my key because the person that I threw down on with in the squad buy package thingy, whatever, they're MIA. I don't know what's going on with them. They're somebody a part of a community that I'm a part of, which is massive, and I haven't seen them. I don't know if something's going on with their computer, what, no telling. Bottom line, I rebought the game on Steam just to find out that A, it doesn't seem to be running as well as I had hoped it would, B, seems to almost run worse than it did in closed alpha. So all that aside, I've been pissed. I've raised hell on the forums. I've been yelled at. I've been told by Intel fanboys that I need to upgrade my PC, which, to be honest with you, is a bunch of crap because these guys that are telling you to do this, they don't know what they're talking about. So I'm going to go ahead and show you what I've got real quick. Now, this does not have my RAM in it right now because I have to RMA my RAM. I had an issue with the motherboard, so I had to buy my motherboard. My Intel, my Intel NIC LAN adapter that's built into my board went out, and then I was also having RAM issues, yada yada yada. So I do run 1600 megahertz RAM right now. Normally I'm running 1866 because of my processor. So I'm going to go ahead and get my specs out of the way. Now, you might not get what I get in the game. It doesn't seem to really matter because the game doesn't respond to changes most of the time in my graphics settings or anything like that, so there's no telling. I'm not going to promise you anything. I'm just going to tell you what I've done to be able to play the game at a decent frame rate and try to enjoy this game as much as I can. So, I've got a 9590, and right now it's sitting at 4.9. Sometimes I run it at 5. It really depends on how I feel, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Okay, I am running a liquid-cooled system, but it is not a custom loop. It is a closed loop AIO cooler, and my CPU is cooled with the Corsair H100i, and my GPU is cooled with an Antec cooler that came with an 8150 FX processor that I had from a couple years ago, 2 or 3 years ago, and it's a 780 Ti gigahertz edition, which is a 780 Ti that is better than all other 780 Ti's. It's completely part bend. Basically, I've benchmarked it against 2 different 980s, the Amped Pro Extreme or whatever it's called, and the 980 Classified Edition from EVGA. The only one that was able to even come close to me was the 980 EVGA, and we kind of went back and forth. Neither of us had a frame difference of, let's say, 1 to 2 FPS in multiple benchmarks that we did, from Battlefield 4 in closed, like a closed setting on the test range, to Unigine Valley, to Firestrike, to yada yada yada. So yes, I do have a very high-end PC, so no, I'm not guaranteeing you any of these settings that are going to work for you 100%, but I can guarantee you that they will give you some kind of increase, and I'm running the game at... If I join a full server, which is the first thing I'm going to tell you, is you cannot run 100-person servers, period. I don't think anybody's running good FPS on 100-person servers. It's hard to isolate variables on these servers because they're hosted servers. It seems to be an issue. Some servers run great, some don't. Your best bet is to run 50 or below servers. Okay? If you can find a good game with 20 versus 20, it's going to be your best experience. Or 18 versus 18 or 15 versus 15. Obviously, you don't want to run a 5v5 or a 10v10. That sucks. So if you go join a small server with almost nobody in it, and it's a good server, I get 120 FPS on Epic. Okay? So that really seems to have a huge factor. Sometimes I can join 50-man servers that are good servers, and I'm still running 52, 55 FPS. I average between 30, a constant 30, don't drop below 30, on a really bad server, to my best is about 55 to 65. Sometimes, and it has happened only for brief periods of time, say 30 minutes, on certain servers with 30 to 40 people, I'm running 80, 90 FPS. Okay? My settings in-game, which I'll show you in a minute, are Epic settings for the most part. I have begun lately dropping shadows because A, it gives you an advantage on the battlefield, B, it gives you a little bit of frame stability. Now, It doesn't necessarily give me a bunch of frames. Sometimes it gives me some frames, but most of the time it just keeps me from getting really bad dips. This game is so all over the charts that there's no real way to completely fix it right now. It's kind of based on your situation, okay? So I'm going to start off with the first thing I would tell you to do is if you have an AMD CPU and you have an aftermarket cooler, you need to find the highest stable overclock you can do, okay? Bottom line, that if you want to try to run this game at your best performance, and that's how this whole entire video is going to be based. This whole entire video is going to be not to get these frame rates, to get the best possible frame rates you're going to get as of right now with what I've learned with your current setup. So I'm not going to tell you what you're going to get. I'm not going to tell you exactly, you know, this is going to work for you, this may not work for you. Some of these things might not make a difference for you at all. I'm going to tell you that if you do the things that I'm about to tell you right now, up to today, these are going to be the best gameplay frames you're going to get as of right now with an AMD CPU. I don't give a shit what your GPU is because it doesn't seem to matter. And most people are having problems even getting their GPU to push. Mine last night was the first time I saw it, but the thing would not sit past what it idles at, which was 1084. Okay, so I did finally get it to go back somehow, but normally my GPU pushes 1228 megahertz. Okay. Last night it was sitting at 1084, which is what it idles at whenever I take off the all the variable wattage for cooling and all that crap. I took all that off, and I'll sit 1084 is what I'll sit at the desktop. Last night it only wanted to run 1084 in the game for some reason, couldn't figure it out, and I still was getting 35 FPS. And then I went from high settings to low settings, applied, back to high settings, and it slowly crept up in percentages. I don't know what to tell you. Like I said, the game makes no sense as of right now. It's all over the place. So, first thing I'm going to tell you to do is, if you have an aftermarket cooler, overclock that puppy as hard as you can. Stable, okay? Make sure you're keeping up with your temperatures. The best thing that I can find is either Hardware Info 64, okay, or Hardware Monitor 64, one or the other. I don't know. There's Hardware Monitors, Hardware Info. Figure out which one's closest to yours. FX CPUs do not do well when it comes to giving out data on temperatures. Bottom line, you're going to usually have to go off of a motherboard temperature of like somewhere on near the socket or something like that. You're not going to get a core temp that works right, and FX chips, bottom line, do not seem to act right until they're getting warm, really warm. So it is what it is. Try to play around with it. This is going to be this is going to be some things you guys you're not going to just come in this video, add these things, boom, everything works out perfect. You're going to have to use your brain a little bit. You're going to have to figure it out, okay? So, first thing to do, overclock your processor, okay? Get it as high as you can comfortably, or as you feel comfortable. If you don't know how to overclock processors, Google's your best friend. If you don't feel comfortable overclocking your processor, don't friggin' do it. Just make sure you turn off all of the different power saving features in your motherboard. If you don't have an aftermarket CPU cooler, don't go wild with this, okay? Now, these CPUs are designed to just shut off, so you should be good. But I'm not, if what I tell you to do here screws up your machine, don't blame me. That part's on you, okay? So, here we go. I'm running 9590 at 4.9 gigahertz. Sometimes I run 5. I am running 16 gigs of RAM, or 8 gigs of RAM at 16 megahertz, 1600 megahertz, okay? 780 Ti, all right? I have not gone to the new Nvidia drivers, and I am not on Windows 10. Those things might make a difference for you, but I have tried to keep everything as close to the baseline I've been working with this week, all right? So, whenever I go into, if you have liquid cooling, whatever, whenever I go into the game, automatically turn up my liquid cooling for my GPU. You would do the same thing if you were running just a regular GPU and you had some type of software. I use Afterburner for my 780 Ti gigahertz, which is made by Gigabyte. Gigabyte has crappy software, so I used to run EVGAs. It's supposed to have gotten better, blah, blah, blah. There's a long backstory behind that and the guy that originally made it all. So go ahead in here, turn that puppy up, get ready to roll, because you're going to want to, I have not messed with overclocking my GPU because it doesn't seem to even take effect in the game. I don't know why. When I overclock it in the game actually won't run my GPU as hard as it does stock. So I just leave it alone, because when I play with it, it seems to default back to my baseline idle speed. So screw all that. I haven't got into that part of it yet. So you're going to have to go ahead and turn it up just in case, because you're going to want things to be cool, because you're going to be overclocking your CPU most likely. All right. So also, one of the things to do is run this program, MSI Afterburner, and it'll give you Riva Tuner statistics, which will give you all the in-game information you see guys running with all the purple shit up here. And you'll do that by going to settings, by going to monitoring, by selecting what you want to monitor. Okay, I have my CPU being monitored, my RAM being monitored, everything. And you'll click on what you want to monitor. Like let's go with something that's not being monitored right now. Screw it, let's just do power. Okay, power is being monitored. If I didn't want to have monitored power, I would turn that off. If power, I want to monitor it, make sure there's a check mark next to it, show an on-screen display. You can mess with your text color, all that stuff. Okay, it'll show up there. Make sure you're monitoring your stuff. Okay. The second thing, if you're an AMD guy with an FX processor, this might work. You know, I don't know if the other processors. I've only owned AMD FX processors. I've only owned the AMD processors that are FX processors. One of the thing is like I said, the monitoring of the temperatures is a pain in the ass. One of the things that I just started using the other day was AMD Overdrive. I never gave it a time of day because I always thought it was some crap they threw on your motherboard. Blah 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 blah. Go ahead, turn it on. If you guys don't really know how to do much in your motherboard as far as turning off power restrictions like cool and quiet and stuff like that, you're going to have to research how to turn all the power saving stuff off on your board. You supposedly can do it with this. I haven't messed with this. I literally only use this right now to monitor my temperatures because supposedly it's supposed to be pretty accurate, but it doesn't still seem to be too accurate unless I get warm. But it does seem to be more accurate than the other programs I've been using without having to add like an offset or anything like that. But if you want to turn off all of the in-game, all of your motherboard cool and quiet and power saving features, from what I understand is when you click this, that means it's turning all those off. It's not going to matter for me because I don't have any of that turned on in the BIOS. So right now you're seeing I'm running at 4.9 all the time across all 8 cores. Bottom line, okay? You can also do some overclocking in here, like I'll show you right now. So I'm at 4.9. You can also go to, this is for your turbo control. I have turbo off, by the way. I have my turbo disabled because I am running my processor boost to 5 already, so I don't want it to boost to 5 because it only boosts 4 cores right now. You can make it go up to 6 with this, but I actually just turn that off and I run 4.9 nonstop so that it doesn't, fluctuate. So you can come in here and you can actually do it from the software. I wouldn't recommend overclocking with the software because it doesn't seem as stable. That's just what I've always known is don't overclock the software. It's never as stable. So like right now, let's overclock to 5. See? The target is 5. My current, 4.9. Let's hit apply. Boom. Now we're at 5. Boom. We're at 5 now. Awesome. We're running AMD, all 8 cores, 5 gigahertz. Get you some. So you do that with your Intel on the fly. So anyway, so that's one of the things I use, and like I said, that's just a quick overview. It's called AMD Overdrive. If you want to get into further messing with it at all, you're going to have to look into that. That's not what this video is about. I'm just telling you what I do, okay? Next, let's get in the meat and potatoes of this thing because I'm screwing around too long. So AMD Overdrive, that'll be running to watch my temperatures. I have triple monitors, so I put it up. You cannot seem to see your CPU temps in the Riva Tuner statistics program, so I use that to see, make sure everything's fine. Once I found out I played a game or two and everything was cool, I just don't even run anymore. Because that brings me into my next thing. Close down as many programs as you can. So I don't run almost anything. And if you have to, first off, turn off TeamSpeak. You cannot run the game with TeamSpeak. That is a big thing that's killing me. Okay, when I was running it with TeamSpeak, I got horrible FPS. I turned off TeamSpeak, and I'm getting better FPS. Okay. The second thing is on top of TeamSpeak, you can also go down here, run msconfig. They make little like game booster, whatever, something. I think Razer makes one. It'll do all this for you. I don't use it because that's actually something you can do yourself. But if you really want to get fancy, you can come in here to startup or services. You can hide all Microsoft services, and you can disable all of them. It's gonna, it might not run everything perfectly fine. I would make sure you don't disable like Steam client, but as far as everything else, you can come in here, hide all Microsoft services, and then you can go and figure out, uncheck mark the ones, you don't want to disable. So, and you can disable pretty much everything else. Okay, so disable as much as you can and still have a system that runs correctly. That's the next thing. Disable as many programs as you can and make sure TeamSpeak is off. Just, it's not going to work for you. Secondly, I don't know if this is 100% true, but I have been running it this way, and it seems to be helping me. I have a 10 speaker headset, okay? So my headset has literally 10 speakers inside of it. It's the Razer TMAT 7.1, and I use up all of my 3.5 millimeter audio jacks in the back of my motherboard. So with them having sound trouble, I thought, well, maybe I could lower the amount of channels I use, and maybe that'll help with some of the processing power, some of the weight on my processing. Now, even though my board is the Asus Crosshair V Formula Z, which is the highest end AMD motherboard you can get right now, and it has its own standalone audio processor, FX Extreme processor, or whatever it's called, it doesn't seem to matter. When it should, it doesn't seem to matter. This game is all over the place. So what I do is I go ahead and go down from 7.1, and I go down to 5.1. If you already have a surround sound headset and it's USB or it's plugged in to a regular 3.5 millimeter jack, you're probably fine. You probably don't have to do this at all. This is only for people that are running 7.1 channel and you're actually using all those channels. So if you're not using that and you're using a fake 7.1, which is basically your headset has 2 speakers in it and it simulates 7.1 stereo anyway, which I hope that didn't just wreck the audio. Okay, you should be good. You're going to be at 7.1, or you're going to be at stereo anyway. So make sure that's at stereo. If you're like me and you can't stand it and you don't, I do have a pair of headsets around here, the whatever the hell they're called, the what are these things called? I don't know. They're really high-end Astro A50s. I have a set of those. I'm thinking about switching over to them while I play this game because they do really good. Enhanced digital audio for surround sound, which means I can run at stereo and still get a lot of my nice sound. I also run a butt kicker, which comes off of my audio. It's an audio transducer that vibrates my seat. It takes the input from the output of the subwoofer. So basically, I have a splitter, and when the splitter goes into the back of my 3.5 millimeter for my subwoofer, and it splits into 2, and one goes to my butt kicker, which rattles my seat when everything explodes and gunshots are fired and all that cool stuff, and the other one goes to my headset audio subwoofers in my headset. So if I go stereo, I'm going to lose that. Kind of don't want to, so I've been just roughing it out with 5.1. This is not a 100%. I'm still in the process of testing this a little bit, but it does seem to work. So if you can, drop it as low as you can stand, okay? That's another thing to do. That's one thing I've been doing, and it seems to be working. So on to the next one. You're going to go into Nvidia control panel if you have Nvidia card. If you have AMD, I don't know what to tell you. Sorry about this. You're going to have to just roll with it. Instead of messing with the manage 3D settings and all that stuff like I normally do, I just went straight for simplicity so that I could get baselines. And what I did was I came over here. First off, you're going to go to manage 3D settings, and you're going to want to make sure that you are on prefer maximum performance. Okay? This is going to keep your GPU from downclocking to almost nothing while you're sitting idle. This is going to make your GPU run at your stock clock all the time. Okay? It's not going to run below that and save a bunch of power. So make sure you're in prefer maximum performance mode. I went ahead and put on single display performance mode. I am running triple monitors. This is not for this is for OpenGL games, and I didn't really look into squad enough. It shouldn't matter with squad at all, but whatever. I went ahead and did it anyway just for the hell of it, just because I'm stupid. So next, you're going to go to adjust image settings. After you do the prefer maximum performance, you're going to go to adjust image settings, and just don't screw around. Just go ahead and put it on use my preference, emphasizing, and slide it over to performance. Okay? You're trying to get frame rates right now. The game's still going to look good on Epic, trust me. So make sure you're on emphasize or use my preference emphasizing, and then select performance by sliding it over. If you're using Nvidia, if you're using AMD, find out whatever it is that y'all use, whatever whack shit y'all use, because y'all have crazy shit that just came out, and I'm not even sure what's up with it. And on top of that, y'all get drivers like once every 25 years or something. So I don't know what to tell you guys. I've never even owned one single AMD card in my life. I've had friends that have, and they've always ended up at Nvidia. So, bottom line, not here to bash AMD. They make great cards for the money, and sometimes they're good, sometimes they're not. Whatever. So, moving on. The next thing we're gonna do is you have no TeamSpeak. You have your audio channel set. You have all the programs that you can closed be closed. If you have to, boot into safe mode or whatever. You know, if you're an advanced guy, make the best of this. Take out as much as you can. The next thing to do is try to, and I didn't even think about this, but I'm running Squad on a RAID 0 setup on 2 SSHDs, so maybe I'll move that to the SSDs, or to the SSD. I didn't think about that. But make sure it's on, try it on your C drive, try it on your SSD drive. I don't know, try whatever you can. We need the best performance we can get, because it sucks. So, the next thing I'm going to show you is, there is a fix online. Here's where you're going to find the fix, okay? You're going to go to Join Squad. If you're not a squad, if you're not lined up or linked up with the squad forums, you're a retard. Do it now. It's going to be a lot of helpful information, and this is probably the first bit of good information you've probably gotten is my video. When you go to Join Squad, go to Forums, okay? Sign up. Don't be stupid. Sign up. We need people talking in the forums. It's how this is all going to work and become beautiful. I think FAQ is where you can see it. Hold on. Give me a second. Nope. Okay. Updates. That's where it's at. Updates. Update early access follow-up. Okay, so you go to updates at joinsquad.com. Go to update early access follow-up. And here's a workaround. Performance improvements, yada, yada, yada. It has to do with the audio channels. Go here, and that's where you're going to find the fix for the audio channels. So I haven't really looked much into this because I thought that I had fixed it, but they're coming out with new information all the time. Basically, this is what you're looking for is the engine.ini file and the audio max channels 128. You're going to lower that. They're coming out with new stuff all the time, so I'm not sure what, I mean, God, this was at 3 or 4 pages when I checked it the other day. Now it's up to God knows how many. And I've been going to see, this is wrong place. See, okay. So I'm not going to go through all this, but basically, you're going to find somewhere where it gives you the correct information. That link should take you to the right one, but there was something about an INI file that gets rewritten all the time. Just make sure you read through this a little bit. Do a little bit of digging. I'm going to show you guys real quick where I do it at. I might be wrong. If I am wrong, let me know where to find it, because maybe I'm not doing it all correctly. That's what this video is for, to get everybody on the same page. So, midget porn aside, we'll try to avoid that area of the hard drive. Basically, I have it on the SSHD, which is two 2 terabyte SSHDs in RAID 0 to equal 3.63 terabytes. So there is one file, which can be found here from what I understand. So you're going to go to Users, your name, or your computer's name, whatever you have, App Data. I believe it was local. I haven't even been doing this one anymore because I think this is the one that gets rewritten. But roaming, and then I think it is, oh, maybe it's not here. Hold on, guys. I'm doing this on the fly. This has not been local. Squad, okay. So, app data. So, there, let's start again. This PC, C, users, your name, app data, local, squad, saved, config files, Windows editor, and engine.ini. Somebody said something about, see how this doesn't have it right here? Somebody said something about you got to start a match to get this to show up. I don't know. Okay? If you guys got some more information on this, let me know exactly, because I'm sure I might be doing this part wrong. But where I've been doing it is I'm going to my Steam folder where all my Steam games are, which is on my RAID 0, and it's in Steam, and you go to Steam, and then once you're in Steam, you go to, give me a second, I'm tarding out, Steam Apps, right here. And once you go to Steam Apps, you're going to go to Common, then you're going to go to Squad, then you're going to go, what I did was I went through each one of these, and I think it's only in Engine and Squad. And now you're going to want to make a save of these, okay? Save these, just in case. And I believe it was under, yeah, I believe it's under Config, okay? And then I went through each one of these and tried to find it, but, and I might be overlooking this because I'm making this video fast. Base engine on an INI file, and you're going to go to Control F, and you're going to type in audio. And then you're going to go to Find Next. And what you're going to be looking for is this, right here. Max channels. Okay, I've got it set to 32 right now. Okay? So, I think I went all the way down to 32. You could try 64, you could try 96, you could try anything between 32 and 128, I believe. I've been running 32, I guess I've been running 32, and I haven't really been having an issue with missing sounds. There was times where I did it at 32 and I was missing sounds. So, to me, that wasn't a workaround, because how are you going to play a tactical shooter when you can't hear shit? That's just retarded. So, by the way, there's going to be a lot of the R word in this. So, max channels, set that to anything below the 128 you have now. If you want to just go ahead and go straight to the best you can do and then work your way up to the fine tuning like sweet spot where you're getting all these audio channels and good frame rates, you would just go 32 and then work your way up. 32, 64, whatever you want to do, 28, well, I don't care. I don't care what you do. 32 seems to be the lowest number that they all talk about. So you'll go ahead and save that, and then you'll put it in there. And it's going to say 128 when you open this up. You're going to do it to 32, and then you're going to go to File, Save. Now make sure you make a backup of this by right-clicking and copying and putting it somewhere, and maybe you might want to put it in a folder and name that folder this file path. That's what I did, so that you can remember where the hell you got it from. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to go to Content. Oh, one second. Let me make sure there's no more in here. So I did it in every single one of these, okay? And like I said, I'm making this very, very fast. Base engine INI file is definitely the one you want to do. You might find it in some more. I can't remember. See, there's not here. And that's the easiest way to find if you got it. That's how fast it can be to find them, okay? So don't think there's Windows Engine, but it doesn't have it. There is some interesting things I found in here that I would like some questions answered about anyway. Okay, so there's another one right there. So we'll go to localization, and I think this is the one that really matters. So you're at your squad, you're at engine, and this is all inside your Steam apps, and then you're going to configs, localization, engine INI file, and you're going to audio. Oh, I'm an idiot. Hold on. Going audio. Alright, audio's not in here apparently. Yep, not in there. So maybe that's not the one. So you just go through each one of these. You're looking for engine INI file, bottom line. Anything that says engine INI file or anything like that, that's what you're looking for. And that's where you want to change it at. I changed it and everything. It seems to be fine. There's not one in Windows Engine. So, but basically you're going to look for the engine, like base engine INI file. You might want to try that one. Stuff like that, okay? Then go to content. It's not in content, I don't think. Oh, maybe, hold on. No, okay. It's not in content. I think it's in the configs, if I remember. They're all in the configs. So then you'll go to squad over here, and you'll go to config, and you'll go to default engine. Now, like I said, if I'm doing this wrong, somebody help me out, because I haven't had the time to look back into this, okay? Because I've spent other time, and I need to, but I've been really busy between spending every waking moment I'm off trying to figure out more baselines of trying to fix things, and then joining servers, and the servers are crap, so then it's throwing off my data. Let's see here. So basically, anything that says game INI or engine INI, you're going to want to make sure you check out. There might be somebody out there that has more information than I do and a lot quicker, shorter version of where you should find this or exactly which ones to mess with, blah, blah, blah. And if you do, link it or tell me or help me or whatever. That's what we're here for. We're here to help each other. Okay? So you're going to go and you're going to look for everything that says game.ini or engine.ini, and you're going to look for audio. Bottom line, I think you guys have gotten that part figured out, okay? Once you get there, once again, oh look, see, that one was at 128. So let's put it at 32. I don't know if these get rewritten or what, so I could have swore I've done this all a million times. But basically what you're looking for is you're going to either engine or squad, and then you're going into, as far as I can tell, yep, it's going to be just the config files, and then you're going to change everything that has pretty much audio in it between all of these files, and not audio, but audio with the one, the max channels. All of these files, and then engine, config, all these files, okay? And then maybe all these files. I don't know. I don't think so, though. I don't think those seem to have them in there. There was guys talking about adding them in. I'm not sure. Like I said, guys, bottom line, you know what I mean. I think I've got my point across. So you'll see mine are up here. So, sorry, the mic is jacked to the roof too, so you're probably hearing me breathe. If you don't like it, screw yourself. I don't know what to tell you. I've got the microphone jacked so that I don't do this video and find out afterwards that it missed parts or was clipping or anything like that, because I really don't want to spend that much time. I just want to crank this out and get back to playing squad, to be honest with you, and killing people. That's what I like to do. The next thing I want to tell you about real quick is we've gone over, once again, closing as many files as you can, setting up the audio on your machine itself, okay, which can be done here if you have a Realtek Audio Manager. If you don't, go to playback devices, go to your speakers, go to properties, go to friggin' property, where is it at? I can't remember. Hold on. Advanced, no, that's not it. Go to configure speakers. There it is. Okay, so right click it, configure speakers, and set them up to something lower. The next thing I need to tell you about is, I'm going to go ahead and try to launch Squad. Give me a second. This might work out, it might not. The next thing is I'm having a brain fart, to be honest with you, is some settings inside Squad that I can give you. And I think that, and what I'm going to do is, I'm going to post this in the forums. And it's going to be on YouTube, it's going to be linked in the forums. If I can think of anything I missed, I'll put it in the bottom, or I'll make a quick second video for it, okay? The next part is going to be actual settings inside of Squad. So if we can get it to game capture right, we'll be good to go. It should work fine. So we're going to open up Steam, and watch. It should be, don't you give me no updates. We don't have time for that right now. Lunchbox 1986, that's me, or basically Shane Clips 97. You'll find me on the Steam. On the Steam, ooh, some sales maybe, huh? Alright, so let's go over here to my games library. I did do a new OS install not too long ago, so that might be helping me out too. Notice I don't have any of my games installed for the most part, except for a couple of the ones I've been playing with some buddies and stuff. What do you, oh, Grab's updating. Horrible game, by the way, don't buy Grab. Awesome game, by the way. Awesome game, Just Cause 3. It's pretty fun. Squad, there we go. By the way, I do have ADD if you can't tell, and I don't care if you don't like it. We're gonna launch Squad real quick. We're gonna make sure that the game capture should pull Squad up. If it doesn't, then we'll fix it real quick, so just bear with me. This is straight up on the fly, man. I ain't no video editing, I'm not doing none of that crap. Y'all are getting what you're getting, because, you know, it works. So, okay, y'all aren't seeing my, I don't think y'all are seeing that. Y'all aren't seeing it, but right now you can see all my stats on the top left. If you were me, yeah, you can't see it. That's kind of weak sauce. Hold on, I bet I can make it where you can see it though, possibly. Let me see. Let me do a little monitor capture and see if y'all can see it. Meh, didn't work. Oh well. So, there's probably a way to make y'all see it, but I've got a long list of crap telling me all kinds of stuff. Like right now we're running 66% GPU at 58 degrees Celsius, and we're running, I don't know, 37 degrees. Now I am running 1228, which is nice, because it wasn't running that. It was running 1084 before the other day, which I better turn the GPU cooling on, because the GPU does not like to run on silent. It was starting to creep up there. We're already up to 60 degrees Celsius. This thing pulls 300, mine's pulling 400 watts of power right now. This thing is 780 Ti gigahertz, dude, boss card. I bought this thing 2 years ago, still stomping on 980s. Dude, this thing is a beast. And I haven't even, this is stock, 1228 stock. Go look up 780 Ti's and tell me which ones are running 1228 stock. None of them, this thing's a boss. But you pay the price with heat and power. So, inside Squad, we're going to turn down the audio real quick because that shit's annoying. Yeah, I'm looking at you, audio director, whatever your name is. I can't remember your name. Somebody from one of those TV shows or something. Anyway, which I'm sure there's a lot of people out there, by the way, buddy, that want to put your head on a stake. I'm sure it's not your fault. You say it's the... My thing is this. Let me go ahead and take a break real quick. The reason why a lot of guys out here are upset is because a lot of people that are new to Squad or that backers... The game ran better for us, or most of us, I think, on... before when it was closed alpha, but also the whole engine thing. I'm not a programmer. I'm just a computer science student. I'm just getting started in computers like 3-4 years. I'm just saying what I'm saying. I might be wrong. Tell me and educate me, please, because that's what I'm going to school for. So my thing is I'm playing Arc. I'm playing the UT Unreal Tournament beta off their website. Both games run great. I mean, great. Even Arc, when it was shit, ran 60 FPS. I could get it to work. The problem is the game's not even responding to changes in graphical interface or overclocking of my card. Like, I overclock my GPU, and it'll downclock when I run this game. Doesn't make any sense. Like, just, it literally defies Bermuda Triangle shit going on with this game. I don't know why. And you guys say it's the engine. If you say it's the engine, I love you guys. I believe you. You know what I mean? I'm not saying you're not, but I'm saying as a user of the Unreal 4 engine in other games, I don't have these issues. They don't have problems with whatever's going on, and I'm sure that there's something to do with this sound and all the channels you guys are running. You're probably running way more channels than these other games. I'm just telling you, these other games like Ark are demanding big open world games with, you know, I would consider a decent amount of sounds, and bottom line is I don't really have these issues. It's a little bit more, it makes more sense when I'm playing that game. Like if I play with settings or, you know, like this, literally with this game right now, I can go from epic settings to low settings and nothing changes at all. Nothing changes. And it's just, it's really, that's why we're struggling so much, I think. It's because we can't, it's not going by the normal terms and conditions of how we normally troubleshoot our things with our games. So you're going to go inside Squad and you're going to go to audio first. This is going to give every single person a boost in frame rate, and this is probably the #1 key to this video, not because of what it does, because I haven't heard anybody say anything about this. Now, I found it one time, actually I take that back, I found it one time last night, somebody mentioned it. Turn radio filter off. I don't give a shit if it kills your immersion. I'll tell you what kills your immersion. When you're going to shoot somebody and they warp around, or you are watching a slideshow, like you're watching a flip book. That's what kills your immersion, not the damn filter on the radio. That's the least of your worries. So turn the filter off on the radio. It gave me, there's a video where I was streaming. I instantly got like 8 to 12 FPS, and I lost my shit. Like, live stream lost my shit. I was like, oh my god, I'm getting 42 FPS in Squad now. Oh my god. And I was streaming at the same time, so I was like losing it. I was fucking so excited. I thought I had fixed the world and ended world hunger, cured AIDS, all the whole 9 yards. So it was amazing. Radio filter off on the audio, and you will get a frame boost. I'm telling you, Intel guys, I'm not running Intel. You might not see as much as we are, but with AMD guys, you will get a boost on this. This is a big one for me. This is one that I will die by. It seems to be really working for me. So the second thing you're going to do, and this is a big one other than the TeamSpeak thing, the TeamSpeak thing is going to crush your FPS in this game. I do not know why. I only assume because there's so many audio channels already running, and your processor is trying to process all those audio channels. On top of it, it's trying to process TeamSpeak information, and TeamSpeak's just adding to your workload. So I imagine somehow on some level of shit I don't understand, someone could explain why that is, but that's the layman's terms. Just shut the shit off. Bottom line. You want FPS? Shut it off. So, radio filter off, and then in graphics. So right now, this is what I'm running Squad at, and this is getting me 50 to 55 FPS in Squad with an AMD machine. These exact settings on a 50-man server, sometimes 70-man server. Sometimes I'll get a shit server, and I'll be at 35, 40 FPS. It is what it is, okay? But if you guys are noobs and you want to know a few ways to tweak out some more FPS on a lower-end CPU, first thing I would do is I would lower this, and this is what the game pretty much, if the game is telling me, if I click to determine best settings, it's telling me to do everything that I already have here, except for it bumps up MSAA to 4, and it bumps everything up here to right at the top. So shadows and all this crap goes up. So it pretty much wants me to max out the game, and this is the first time I've ever seen a game want me to do more than 100% resolution scaling, which is a little weird. But I'm assuming it's because we're still not running full res textures or something. I don't know. Or maybe that's just what it is. Like, this game is designed, I don't know. You guys are the devs, not me. So, make sure you're running at, so if you start the game, it tells you to do anything over resolution scale. Bump your resolution scale down to 100. Do not go below 100. Find another way around this. Don't go below 100. Your game's going to look like crap. And you're not even going to be able to play it. Like, it's going to look like you're drunk wearing somebody else's glasses. Okay? So, go ahead, if you have to, bump your resolution scale down to 100. And these are just all, you know, things to tell you. These are all just ideas and references that you can go by to try to get a little more FPS if you're the average person, if you're or below. If you're a little bit more average, you're more computer tech savvy, you've probably already done all this, you know. Now, one thing I will tell you is it seems to work better if I do it before I load a match. If I try to do it in a match, it doesn't seem to work. If I try to do it later on, it doesn't seem to work. Another thing that I've tried to do more is not Alt-Tab. Once I launch the game, I try to not Alt-Tab at all. That seems to help out sometimes a little bit. But So the main things you're going to look for is drop your shadows. Go ahead and drop your shadows. They're going to give you an advantage in the game right now anyway. So just drop your shadows and take the FPS. Because I run a 144 hertz monitor. And let me tell you something. When this game's running 100 FPS and all this shit's up and I got my shadows on medium and, you know, they're a little bit up, this game's gorgeous, man. The fluidity is nice. Once they get this game going, it's going to be real nice. It's going to be like Battlefield 4 smooth on a nice machine. You know what I mean? It's going to be real good looking, real pretty, real nice. So right now, if you just want good fluid FPS and you want to be able to enjoy the game and be a little bit competitive, drop the shadows to low, turn the quality off, do all this. I don't necessarily have to, but if I want the best FPS, that's what I do right now. Now, some of these things I can't get rid of. I can't do it because it'll kill me. You know what I mean? It just won't. I can't do it. The game will look too crappy. Shadows is a killer of video cards. Okay, and I believe it kills more of your VRAM than anything. So, and you want to make sure that you're staying under X amount of VRAM. I have a 3 gig card, so I have to stay under 3 gigs, or else I'll start getting all kind of world of issues. So make sure you drop your shadows. Take your MSAA off. Play with temporal because or FXAA. If I remember correctly, I think temporal is actually lower cost than FXAA nowadays, or I might be thinking of something else. I might be thinking of Siege's way that they do their new anti-aliasing. But if you go by the standard of the way things have always worked, FXAA is pretty much the golden standard if you want a little bit of anti-aliasing. That's not necessarily the best, but you want to keep your good frame rates. So if you want a little anti-aliasing, go with FXAA. But I'm running high just fine. Honestly, this game's weird. None of this shit seems to matter. As I change things, I can go epic or I can go off. It doesn't seem to matter. So I went ahead and just kept it because it looks good. And it doesn't seem to really matter to me. That's the part I can't figure out. But if you want to if you want to do it the normal way you would do it, then you would go ahead and do anti-aliasing around low or high, or low temporal. Try these things, or just go off. If you want to just go straight for FPS, obviously everything on low is the way to go. But if you want to try to keep a little bit of a decent looking game, bump this down to 100. Keep some type of anti-aliasing. Turn MSAA off. Keeps FXAA or temporal. Okay. Figure out which one seems to work for you. Maybe you have to do a game restart every time to make sure the game locks in the settings and does everything right. Okay? If you have a higher end machine, try my settings. High, 2x, epic view distance. Of course, you want to see the people you're shooting at. And then low, all the shadows down so I can shoot them even more when they're in the bushes. And post-processing, I keep it on epic. You can drop your post-processing a little bit. Some of you guys might not quite notice all the effects that it gets rid of. It doesn't. I don't think it's really tied to too much other than the really like the sun glare and the glare off the scope or whatever right now. Probably a few other things. Effects is going to directly relate to your particles and shit like that. So you're gonna your particles are going to go away. You're not going to see all the little embers and stuff like that. And, I can't remember exactly what all particle effects they have in the game right now, but they don't seem to have as much as they do on the Steam trailer that's out right now. So it's up to you guys. This is really all how you feel about it. But yes, I run a combination of, you see it, okay? So I run epic effects, epic textures, epic post-processing. If you really want to try to squeeze a few FPS and not kill the game, drop your shadows, keep a little bit of anti-aliasing across the board somewhere, keep your effects on high or medium. If you have a good GPU, this is not going to affect you at all, so might as well keep it on epic. And also, an Nvidia control panel, make sure, I forgot to show you guys this, and I'll probably do it after the video, but make sure you're running your physics on your GPU if you have anything over like a 770 or higher. For sure on the GPU. If you have a crummier CPU, still put it on the GPU. If you got a 580 Ti or higher, you're going to want to run it on the GPU if you have a crappy CPU. And you know if you have a crappy CPU. Okay? Bottom line. Probably safe to just say put it on the GPU regardless. Physics on the GPU for this game right now, because bottom line is we need all the relief off of our AMD processors as we can get. So just run physics on the GPU for now. Bottom line. Shadow quality down, shadows low, view distance, go high or epic. Don't really go into the medium area. It's going to piss you off. Go no on MSAA if you have to. Do anti-aliasing low or high or one of these. Figure it out. Resolution scale definitely 100. I would not go below like 95. Seriously, the game's going to look like crap. Full screen, and don't mess with the resolution, man. There's no point in it. I mean, you can. If you really want to run it at 720p, I guess. You're going to end up doing the resolution scale back up again, I'm sure. Other than that, man, That's it. I think that's finally it. This was a total ramble because I did it all on the fly. There's no cue cards, there's no nothing. I just came on here and rambled my little ass off and said some shit that was kind of funny every now and then and probably pissed a lot of people off. But bottom line is I'm playing the game between 40 and 60 FPS 99% of the time on anything that's a 50 to 60 man server, and the game's fun again. It's fun. I'm enjoying it. I'm finally not pissed off, and I'm finally having a good time. Still have little issues here and there. Bottom line is that's the way it is. The game's really, really new. It's not far along in the early access time frame anyway. I mean, this game is. I think we were playing closed beta. I got into closed beta a little bit late. I think it was out. I think the game's. We've been playing the game for like a total of 4 or 5 months, I think, or 6 months maybe. So that's like from the moment they started letting anybody play it. So if you want to know how to run it on the GPU with the physics, come over here. Once again, Nvidia cards. If you're on AMD card, you might want to turn particles off, man, because you're probably running it on your CPU and you're taking a hit because you guys don't support the physics technology and all that stuff. Your new little API thing or whatever that came out might, but if you're running AMD GPU, you probably just want to turn your particles off for now. And you might be able to turn your particles off and get some frame rates regardless on anything. But you're going to come over here to configure surround physics if you're AMD guy or Nvidia guy, and you're going to go over here to physics settings, and you're going to put it on the TI. Okay, you can do auto select if you're not quite sure. I just run it on mine because my shit's the boss and it doesn't really hurt me at all. And I actually have another physics card sitting around that's not plugged in right now. That's a 750 Ti that I run with this for like Borderlands and stuff. So other than that, guys, that's all I can think of right now. Can't really come up with much else. If I missed anything, I will let you know. My name is Shane. This is Shane Clips 97 Gaming with my YouTube. It's got a lot of different information on it that, well, it's been building a little bit. I've been slacking. I'm doing a lot of Twitch streaming now. You can find me at www.twitch.tv/ShaneClips97 for Twitch streaming information, or, you know, for checking me out on Twitch. And then YouTube, Shane Clips 97. Same thing, it's going to be in the forums. Same thing as the YouTube video. Like if you liked it. Downvote it if you're an asshole, because there's no reason to, because, you know, fucking, I didn't have to do this, I guess, but I don't want the game to get returned. I want people to play it. I don't want you AMD guys to feel like you're inferior to these Intel assholes because they're telling you in the forums to buy a new computer or upgrade because your computer blah blah blah. Screw them, man. If you've got a decent AMD rig, be proud of your AMD rig. Just do what makes it work for you. Most games, AMD and Intel run neck and neck, and if they don't, the best Intel processors are maybe maximum 10 FPS over the best AMD processors. Maximum. And you're talking a difference of $800 or more. So, you know, you can have, what is that? That comes out to like, you know, $80 a frame or something like that. So you can have it, buddy. You know what I mean? I can find a way to get that out of my card or my overclock or something. So the bottom line is, guys, is I made this video because A, I love Squad. B, I love what they're doing. I love that they're grassroots. I love that they're changing the face of FPS. I love that they're bringing us what we want. And I love the fact that, you know, I am AMD guy. I'm not AMD guy because I can't afford Intel or anything. I just like the fact that it's cheaper and that I have enough know-how to get some juice, to get some stuff out of my setup with AMD. This is not because AMD is inferior. This is strictly because something is wrong in the coding of this game. Something is not running right with AMD. AMD does have a built-in bottleneck with its IPC cycles or whatever it's called, but I don't really think that is directly related. It could be. There's ways around it. They'll get it fixed. Don't get rid of your AMD setup just because you can't play Squad. It's going to be fixed. We're going to get to the bottom of it. But for now, this will get you right there with most Intel guys. And I've been asking around, and to be honest with you, my AMD setup is running just like some of these Intel setups and these high-end Intel setups. So I think that I have been able to get as far as I would have gotten with an i7-4770K just about anyway. So this is Shane Clips 97 signing off. I appreciate you guys coming in. Look at that. Is it working? These guys are asking me. These guys are asking me, is Squad working? Because they know what I've been through. Anyway, guys, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for checking out the video. I hope I helped somebody. I hope somebody enjoyed the video. And I really hope we can all get on the battlefield and crush some skulls together. At the end of the day, we're all in this together. The devs, the players, everybody. This is our hobby. This is what we enjoy. There's no point in pointing fingers. There's no point in being pissed off each other. There's no point in yelling that mine's better than yours. At the end of the day, let's just get on the battlefield. Let's join a squad, and let's have a good time. and let's crush some skulls. Shane Clips 97 signing off. Guess what? I remembered something. I knew I would. So, here you go. One thing that a lot of people don't know, this is super simple. This is for the noobs, so if you stuck around, welcome to the credits section of the video, I guess. Make sure you're running your PC in performance mode. If you're running Windows 8, maybe at Windows 7, I can't remember, I haven't had it in a while. Windows 10, you're going to have to do this, okay? So what you're going to do is you're going to come over here to search. See if we can get it to pop up. Or you can search, I think there's a Windows key shortcut. I can't remember off the top of my head. It's Windows key R, I think. Or, wait, Windows key R? That's run. Damn it, I can't remember. Anyway, just the easiest way to do it is come over here, go to search. Okay, search, type in PowerShell. Go to your power options, alright? Or just type in power. Go to your power options. Make sure, this is going to be hidden. You're going to be sitting at balanced. High performance is going to be down here where it says show additional plans. Go down to show additional plans, put it on high performance, and leave that alone. Just exit out, okay? So, once again, high performance is going to be hidden. You're going to be on balanced. Go ahead, drop this down, go to high performance, put high performance on, exit out. Another thing you can do as well that might give you guys a little more FPS is type in performance, go to adjust appearance and performance of Windows, go ahead, adjust for performance, best performance. So it's going to be let Windows choose what's best for my computer or adjust for best appearance. Click on adjust for best performance, hit apply, okay? That's it, simple, just a couple more things I have to do.